Okay, I'm going to try to quickly go over my progress on this header. The long story short is, like a lot of things I do, I didn't really plan it that well, and then it took way longer than I thought, and blah, blah, blah. But it's overall going reasonably well. It's taking way too long, and it's not a priority. But yeah, I'm gonna tie like some loose ends up on it because it's easier to tie them up now than come back in later when it like right now the code's like fresher in my mind. But yeah, I'm just gonna tie up some loose ends and then I'm not gonna fully finish it, but I'll have it like good enough, and then I'll go back to working on the game. But yeah, so yeah, I guess I'll get right into it. And just keep in mind these colors are all temporary colors. I haven't adjusted the colors yet. So like things are hard to read and hard to see, but that'll be better with the better colors. It'll be a lot easier to see what's going on. Um, okay, so let's go over the main features. The characters react whenever you hit them with the mouse, and depending on where you hit them, they react differently. So I've shown all these animations already, um, and now this is what like they look like in the actual application. Um, each one of these animations took like minimum day and a half, but some of them took like a week, and I think one of them took like 12 days or something because I'm not a very fast animator. But yeah, the detailed versions of these animations I went over in previous videos. So anyway, they react to the movement of the mouse. Sometimes they end up in a different place than when they started. So for example, I'll take the red guy. If I just keep knocking him in the butt, he'll end up like moving, and then there's certain logic as to where they're willing to move. But yeah, you have the reaction to the mouse. Then they actually move during the animation. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to go through everything real quick. I consider this guy the player, even though you can't control him. The player always wants to stand next to the title and the navigation. So, for example, if I were to resize the window, see how he moved over here? If I were to resize it again, he moved over here. If we resize it again, he moves over here. So yeah, I set it up so that the title and the nav are about a quarter of the way through, and then the user stuff is like 2/3 of the way through or something. So as you resize it, they're changing position, and so too are the characters are reacting to the new position. So the player, all he does is try to stand here, and then if he gets moved away from the default position, he'll just walk back. So there I moved him away and then he walked back. And then here the default position changed because I changed the size, so then he moved to the new thing. So that's the player. The other characters have more like a more advanced decision making. The first thing is they can't be too close to the player. So what I'll do is I'll knock one of these guys near the player, like this guy here, and he's too. Oh no, he's a little bit not too close actually. Let me just see if I can. Okay, I'll use this guy instead. So this purple guy is too close to the player, so now he'll run away. So actually, I could just show you. This will be easier for testing. So, and keep in mind, this code isn't really the way I want it yet. This is kind of like some of this is temporary code. But anyway, I'll say. Actually, I'll just leave this like this. I'll just show you what it looks like with more enemies because that looks cool. So here I added like 1,000 enemies. You could see when I move my mouse around and stuff, they're reacting to it, and then some of them are ending up too close to the player, and then they're getting out of the way. So like, if I just go like this a bunch, you'll see they'll like rearrange themselves so that the player's in a certain spot, and then no one else is too close to him. Yeah, so they really don't like being close to the player. The other thing they don't like is there's a thing called a background mask, where anytime there's like a button or something clickable and they're underneath it, I unmask like a rectangle. So yeah, they really don't like being background masked. So if I resize it to a point where they're standing underneath the background, they'll move out of the way. Okay, here, let me just make this simpler. So I'm going to take away the random movement. Right now they're randomly moving around. Okay, I turn that off, right? So now they'll only move if they're in an invalid location. So here I'm going to resize so that some of them are covered, and you'll see they'll move. So like this whole area right here is all covered by background masks. So they really don't like being in that area. So if I wait, they'll eventually all get out of that area. And then if I resize it again, now some of them are in a different thing. So now they, you know, and then same too with the getting too close to the player. The player's moving like right here, and now they're like, oh, you know, I'm way too close to the player. Wait, is it working or is it buggy? I can't see what's going on. Okay, oh no. Wow. Okay, there is a guy too close to, okay, there's a bug then. That's funny. Well, that's annoying. I'm gonna just write this down. Fix bug too close to player after hover, I guess. That's really weird. Okay, well that's annoying. I thought I fixed that, but oh well. Fix that in a second. Yeah, it's annoying because they're supposed to never be too close to the player, so that's a bug, obviously. Anyway, that kind of threw me off, but whatever. So they'll never be too close to the player, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skip over. I have like a list of stuff that I've done since last video, but I'll just skip over it. But yeah, I'll explain the background masks. So there's a base layer, which is just a rectangle. Then there's another layer, which is the mouse mask. And then there's a third layer, which is the actor mask. So yeah, there's like a rectangle underneath each button, and part of it gets revealed because of the actor, and part of it gets revealed because of the mouse, and then the rest is just a normal like base rectangle. And yeah, the actor mask is based on the size of the texture, so it changes when you play animations. Yeah, the whole point of the BG mask or the background masks was to make text more readable. Right now they're the wrong color, so you can't really read the text, but it will be, like, when I fix the colors, it'll be more readable. Yeah, that's annoying that bug happened, because I thought I just fixed it, but whatever. Yeah, so there's a lot of, like, nuance to how it works, but yeah, for the most part, that's the background mask stuff. Yeah, they'll randomly walk around, which I disabled. So I'll turn that on and you'll see. Because there's like 1,000 enemies, there's a fair amount of walking going on. And whenever they choose a position, they ignore all background masked stuff. And they'll walk past it, but they won't stop underneath the background mask. So yeah, here some of them are moving because I changed the position of the background mask. And then others of them are moving because they're just randomly moving. And now some of them are moving because the player's moving, or they're too close to the player. So hopefully none of them end up too close to the player. See, that guy did. There's definitely a bug. No question about it, but it's really weird. I have no idea why that would happen. Because when they get a target to move to, they can't be too close to the player. But yeah, it's just weird that they would ever choose a target. They're choosing a target, and then I'm moving the player, and then they're ending up at that target. But I'm supposed to choose a new target. But yeah, anyway, I'm just confused right now. I'll fix it in a second. But anyway, they randomly walk around. They avoid background masks. Can't be too close to the player. Oh yeah, I got the colors decided upon. So these are the actual enemy colors for light theme. So in other versions of this, they were just kind of like bright colors. But now I decided that the main primary enemies are going to be blue, and then there's 4 other enemy colors that are like darker that are used. I call them highlights even though they're darker. But yeah, that's what I decided. These are the colors I'm going to use. If I were to use any other colors, it would either be too hard to see or it would be confusing in some way or whatever. I wonder if I had a bunch of color palette tests I did, but I probably deleted it. But yeah, in the original World's Hardest game, it's all blue and then red player, except in other levels. Here, it's going to be base blue and highlighted with purple, green, brown, and black. So you're always going to see mostly blue enemies, though. Like here, I have like... let me just see here. Yeah, like here, I have the... certain percentage of the time, I just use the default blue color. And then if it's not one of that percent of the time, then I choose the most common highlight and then the least common at a certain frequency. So I consider purple is the primary highlight, followed by green, followed by brown, followed by black. So you'll see very few blacks and, so yeah, I don't consider all highlights equal. I consider some are like primary, or some are more important than others. Yeah, I'm not going to call it the World's Hardest Game anymore. I'm just going to call it World's Hardest Game because that's what everyone else calls it. So I might as well start calling it that too. Can't run over short distance. Yeah, all that means is... Let me get rid of all these extra enemies. All that means is when they randomly idle, they'll choose a random speed. I'll show you the speed too if you want. This is speed. I have slow, medium, fast, and fast. Or, they're roughly defined. And slow is anywhere from 1 to 1.5 pixels per frame or whatever. Yeah, I define the speeds into 4 categories, and then I choose the categories at a certain frequency. So medium slow and medium fast are the most common, and then slow and fast are the least common. And yeah, he'll never run just 10 pixels. If they run, they have to be going a certain distance. That's all that means. Boundary outlines. Oh yeah, that's just for testing. But I could just show you that. Oops. So yeah, you can see there's a rectangle now. It shows where I just froze. What the hell just happened? Oh my god, what happened? What happened? Oh, I typed an X somewhere. Did I type an X somewhere? Oh, that's not good. But yeah, this is just for testing it so I can see some of the movements move the boundary mask and some of them like hitting on the top of the head doesn't. And yeah, it's just for testing. Oh yeah, that's kind of fun. If you just turn on completely random colors, it looks kind of cool. Just see if I could figure out where that... Yeah, I'll just go like this. See? But yeah, these colors, I chose blue and then dark green, dark purple, dark brown, and black because there's just a lot of reasons why these colors wouldn't work in the actual game. They're either too hard to see on the background or too hard to see against the wall or too hard to see on the checkpoint, or it's too light and it's confusing or whatever, or it looks too much like an item, like a heart. I couldn't use this pink guy because it looks too much like the color of a heart. But yeah, anyway, actually one thing I forgot to mention is some hovers will stop you in your tracks. Like getting hit in the stomach, even if you're moving, if you get hit in the stomach, you'll just stop. But anyway, there's all kinds of stuff I didn't mention. I'm not done. So right now there's bugs. It's not really a bug, but things are going to be fixed where you can only trigger the animation if it's ready to be triggered. So some of these are triggering in a spot where I wouldn't want them to trigger. I would want the mouse to just do nothing. Like if the guy's on the ground and I hit him, I don't want him to teleport up and then fall down again. But yeah, anyway. Just all kinds of stuff. Like, I didn't want to squeeze too much into, like, finish this entire header and then do it all in one video because there's too much stuff to mention. Yes, this means, like, if you take a look at these enemies here, if I resize so that they're no longer there, I just remove them. And then if I open it again, I just actually created random new enemies. I think, anyway. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's broken. Is it broken? Oh, maybe that was working and I broke it. Okay, it looks like it's broken, actually. Not sure why. Let me just... What the hell? So these are the same enemies. Ah. Okay, well that's supposed to work, but... What the hell happened? Did I disable it? This is the function that randomly adds enemies. Not sure why. Well, whatever, I'll fix that. Anyway. Oops. It's supposed to be that when you go like this and this, there's a whole new random set of enemies that just appeared, but I guess it's not working anymore. Yeah, whatever. Okay, that's it. I don't want to explain anymore. But yeah, just so you know, this version is kind of messed up. Like, so if I were to try to change, oh god. Like, don't I don't even know what's happening right now, but this is like a work in progress, so you can't really, this isn't really a good version to demo. But yeah, if you want to play, like, mess around with this, just don't change modes because it'll crash. But yeah, I'm gonna try to finish most of this, and then get back to the game real soon, and it should be way more stable in the next version. This version is fairly unstable. There's like bugs and stuff. It's annoying because I thought some of these bugs were fixed, or I didn't even know about some of these bugs. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna try to finish most of this and then get back to the game in a reasonable amount of time. I'm just doing this update just so you know it, like, because it's been so long since my last update. But yeah, I'm gonna really, really try not to get stuck on a major like distraction like this again, because if I had been working on the game for the last few months instead of this, I would probably be happier with where it's at. Like, but whatever, I don't know. Yeah, one thing I can do. I don't even remember where. Just wanted to play around with it a bit. I'm trying to think. If I go BG mask, is overlap, avoid bar true. Oh yeah, I have them always avoiding the. Yeah, I'll just go. Well, I don't want to mess around with it right now, but yeah. Anyway, you can play around with it if you want, but it's pretty broken, and the game itself is the same as it was before. And there's also a bug where you'll get stuck. Like, I don't know what causes it, but yeah, don't mess around with the modes, and don't be surprised when the header's a bit buggy. But yeah, I'm really gonna try hard to wrap it up, get everything stable, and just consistently make progress on the game itself. But right now, all I'm doing is the opposite of all those things. But yeah, overall, I'm reasonably happy with it. It's just, it doesn't really match the theme of the game. Like, you would never have 15 enemies all getting hurt at once in the actual game. So, in fact, the enemies don't get hurt. Only the player gets hurt. So it doesn't really make sense even, but whatever. There's, depending on how you think about it, it kind of a little bit makes sense, but like not really. It doesn't. It somewhat fits the theme of World's Hardest Game, but in reality, only the player can get hurt, so it doesn't really make sense to have all these enemies getting hurt like this. But whatever. Yeah, there's gonna be a bunch. I don't know. I'm gonna keep working hard, and I'll get back to the game eventually. I'm just trying not to. I'm trying not to get stuck in quicksand. Like the technical debt that I used to have basically none of has accumulated to the point where I'm concerned about it, and then just lack of I don't know, lack of progress, I guess, but lack of progress on the actual game, but still decent. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm just rambling on. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working. This isn't done yet, and I'll get back to the game soon. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for now.